Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we will continue our discussion on parasummary questions for CAT and other management exams. For those candidates who are watching this playlist for the first time, I would suggest that you go to the first video of this parasummary series, where some techniques and some strategies that you should follow in getting the correct answers in parasummary questions are discussed. Then come to this video that will be more effective in your learning. Now, for the others, we will continue our discussion. We'll be discussing some more questions on parasummary. All these questions have been taken from previous year papers of CAT or other management exams or GMAT. So these are all very relevant questions, and there are some learning points available in all these questions. So this is the first question. I'll give you some time to read it and then we will discuss. So first, let us understand the passage. The passage is talking about a unlikely alliance. Alliance means a partnership between the industrialist. Industrialist means a business owner. So incumbent means a person who is presently doing business. So incumbent industrialist means a person who is presently conducting a business or running an industry is an incumbent industrialist. And the distressed unemployed worker. So a person who is unemployed will obviously be under some distress or some kind of difficulty. So there is a partnership or a alliance between the existing business owner and the unemployed worker, and such an alliance is powerful when there is a lot of bankruptcy going on. So it is amid the debris of corporate bankruptcies and layoffs, means amid means in the middle of the debris, means the wastage or the problems created by corporate bankruptcy. So when companies are becoming bankrupt and people are forced to be laid off from, or the employees are forced to be laid off from companies because of the bankruptcies of the companies. In such a situation, the alliance that is generally not happening in normal times, this kind of alliance or partnership do not happen. So when there are a lot of corporate bankruptcies and people getting laid off, in such times this alliance takes place between the business owner and the unemployed worker, and it is a powerful alliance. Why? Because in an economic downturn means an economic downward trend, or when the economy is not doing well, the capitalist is another word for industrialist. So the person or the business owner is mainly focused on the cost of the competition emanating from free market. So because of the free market economy, there are a lot of companies who are competing for the same customers. So when there is a lot of competition, especially when the economy is not doing well, the business owner is more interested in reducing the cost of the competition. So there are a lot of costs he has to bear because of the competition. Why competition is happening? Because of the free market economy. So because of the free market economy, competition is there, and when there is competition, the business owner has a lot of cost. So he is more worried about these costs when there is economic recession. When the economy is booming, he is not worried because he already has a lot of income. But when there is an economic downturn, the business owner is worried about the income and he is not getting more income, so he is worried about the cost. And than on the opportunity. So at that time, he is not bothered about the opportunities created by the free market. He is worried about the cost of the competition due to the free market when the economy is not doing well. And what is the problem with worker? Unemployed worker is unemployed because of the layoff, and this unemployed worker will be finding many others in a similar situation. So there will be a lot of unemployed workers, and they are all having the same kind of anxieties. And when they have a lot of people who have the common anxiety or common problem, they will organize into associations or unions. So they will form or they will, which will make it easier for them to organize together. So we know that what are the things we have understood till now. There is a unlikely partnership between the business owner and the unemployed worker when there is lot of economic problems, as a result of which bankruptcies and layoffs are happening, and this partnership becomes very powerful. The business owner is worried about the cost that he has to bear because of the competition, and the workers are already worried about the loss of jobs, so they organize into unions. Then what happens? Using the cover of the political organization provided by the distress, that the capitalist captures the political agenda. So this is how the unlikely alliance is going to be powerful. So the idea given in the first sentence is explained by the time you reach the last sentence. So when there is a partnership between the industrialist and the unemployed worker, what happens? The using the disguise or using the cover provided by the unions, where unemployed workers have formed into unions, the capitalist captures the political agenda, or capitalist is trying to form an agenda or a program that will benefit him. So this is why the unlikely alliance becomes powerful, because when there is an alliance between the industrialist and the worker, the industrialist will try to use the cover provided by the unions to drive his own political agenda. So what is his agenda? His agenda is to recover the cost. So that is what he will be doing. So this is the essence of the passage. Now once you understand it, the options, the summarizing becomes easy. Option A: in an economic downturn, the capitalist uses the anxieties of the unemployed and their political organization to set the political agenda to suit their economic interests. So this is a good summary, because it says that this kind of thing is very powerful during an economic downturn. Correct. The capitalist is using the anxieties of the unemployed. Yes, the unemployed have anxieties, and since they have anxieties, they form political organization, and capitalist is using this cover of this political organization to set the political agenda. Captures the political agenda is given here, to setting the political agenda to suit their economic interest. Why they are setting the political agenda? Because they are mainly worried about the cost of the competition. So in order to reduce the cost, that is suiting their economic interest, so for that they will be setting the agenda. So this is a good statement as a summary. We will keep it in our mind as a possible answer. Option B: the purpose of an unlikely alliance between the industrialist and the unemployed during an economic downturn is to stifle competition in free markets. So it says that the purpose is to stifle competition in free markets. What is the purpose as per the passage? The purpose is to reduce the cost arising due to the competition. Whether the reduction of the cost can come at the by stifling the competition. What is stifling? Reducing. So by reducing the competition, we don't know. We only know that the capitalist is setting a political agenda, or he is devising a program by which he will reduce the cost. By what method? Whether by reducing the competition, we don't know. That is not given in the passage. So that is why the stifling the competition in free markets is not readily given in the passage. This cannot be a good summary, because this part is debatable. I'm not saying that this is incorrect. This is, we don't know whether this is correct or not. What is the political agenda the industrialist will set? We don't know. We know that the objective of the political agenda is to ultimately make some money for himself, or to recover the money, or to save some money for himself. So he is basically focusing on the cost. For that, he is setting the agenda. How he is doing it, by reducing the competition or not, we don't know. So that is why the purpose of an unlikely alliance between the industrialist and unemployed during an economic downturn is to stifle competition. That is not correct. We don't know for sure whether this is stated. This is not stated in the passage, so we cannot say that this is a good summary. Option C: An economic downturn creates competition because of which the capitalists capture the political agenda created by the political organization provided by the unemployed. So it says that the competition is created by the economic downturn. This is wrong. The passage says that during an economic downturn, the competition becomes a problem. Otherwise, whether the competition is a problem or not, we don't know. We know that during an economic recession period, at that time, a lot of costs are incurred by the business owners because of the competition. So whether the economic downturn is creating the competition, that is wrong. The passage is not saying that. So this part is wrong. Then the next part, because of which the capitalists capture the political agenda created by the political organization. So here it says that the political agenda is created by the political organizations of the unemployed. That is wrong. The capitalist himself is creating the political agenda. The political agenda is not created by the organizations or the employee unions. So this part is also wrong. So two mistakes are there in this option. So this is wrong. Option D, an unlikely alliance of the industrialist and the unemployed happens during an economic downturn. So far, very good, in which they come together to unite politically and capture the political agenda. So unlikely alliance of the industrialist and the unemployed happens during an economic downturn in which they come together to unite politically and capture the political agenda. It seems good. So we have two good answers here. Now, when you have two good answers, again you have to see the what was the technique I told you in the last video. You have to find the option which clearly captures the essence of the passage. That will be the best summary. So here again we read it. In an economic downturn, capitalist uses the anxieties of the unemployed and their political organization to set the political agenda. That is correct, because it is the capitalist who is setting the political agenda. So this is why capitalist is setting the political agenda by using the cover of the anxieties and the political organization of the created by the unemployed people. So this is a good answer. There is no mistake here. So we will retain it as it is. Then option D, an unlikely alliance of the industrialist and the unemployed happens during an economic downturn in which they come together to unite politically and capture the political agenda. So see here the problem is that this statement implies that both of them are together setting the political agenda, whereas the passage is saying that the capitalist is setting the political agenda using the cover of the organization and the anxiety of the unemployed people. So the onus or the responsibility or the initiative to set the program is by the capitalist, not by the employees associations or organizations, whereas this option means that in which they come together to unite politically and capture the political agenda means both of them together are setting the political agenda, which is wrong. So that is why this is not the correct essence of the passage. So that is how you filter out the mistakes and filter out the options which are not correctly expressing the idea. So here option A is the best summary of the passage. Now go to the next one. What is the meaning of the word proliferating? Something that is spreading very rapidly is called proliferating. Impossible to police its meaning means impossible to discover its meaning. Obsession, Undue obsession means extreme passion or extremely attracted to something is called obsession. So undue obsession with the idea of creativity. So once you have uh, got the meanings of the words, the idea becomes clear. We are talking about the extremely obsessive create research now going on to understand creativity. Why there is such a big interest in creativity now? Because creativity is leading to economic progress, because anything creative is being discovered means it can be converted into money. So that is why when creativity is linked with economic progress, lot of organizations and lot of people are very much enthusiastic about studying the creativity and then understanding how creativity is done. And this is reducing the stable identity of the creativity. So because of this overwhelming research on creativity, what is happening? The stable or the permanent identity of creativity is getting eroded or reduced, and it has become so much invested with value, means now people are equating creativity with money. So when you always think about creativity as a means of making money, what happens? It is impossible to discover the true methods by which creativity is actually fostered, or the genuine creativity. It is very difficult to identify genuine creativity, because we are always searching for creativity that is leading us to making money. This is the meaning, and that is why many people and organizations are committed to producing original thoughts. They are feeling that this obsession with the idea of creativity gets in the way of real creativity. So because of this obsession with the idea of creativity, the real creativity is not being developed. This is what many people or organizations who are genuinely doing creative development, they are feeling. So this is the meaning. So in basic sense, you can say that there is something called creativity research. There is another thing called genuine creativity. So creativity research is all about finding out creativity that is leading to economic progress, whereas genuine creativity has got nothing to do with that. It is the genuine process of real creativity. So this is the meaning. Now we have to find a summary. Option A, the obsession with original thought, how it can be promoted and researched, has made it impossible for people and organizations to define the concept anymore. So when you read it very carefully, you can see that the obsession with original thought is the people obsessed with original thought. Original thought means creativity. So the obsession is not with original thought. The obsession is with the idea of creativity, the last line. So the obsession with original thought is wrong, because the obsession or the extreme passion or the extreme attachment is not with understanding creativity. It is to understand the idea of creativity or creativity that is lead to economic progress. That is why obsession with original thought is wrong. How it can be promoted and researched has made it impossible for people and organizations to define the concept. It says that it is very much not possible nowadays to define genuine creativity. What the passage is saying? Passage is that it gets in the way of real creativity. So the obsession is not making it impossible, it is blocking the real creativity. So this option A is saying that obsession is with original thought, which is wrong. Obsession is with the idea of creativity, and this obsession with the idea of creativity is not making it impossible, it is making it difficult to define the concept. So made impossible is also wrong. So that is why two mistakes are there in this option. This is not a good summary. Option B, the industry that is built up around researching but comprises and encourages creativity has destroyed the creative process itself. So it says that there is a lot of very big industry. That is why so many encyclopedias and handbooks surveying creativity research, etc., etc. So there is an industry that has built up around researching but comprises and encourages creativity has destroyed the creative process itself. It says that it has completely destroyed the creative process. What the passage is saying? The passage, it is given in the second line. It has become so invested with value that it has become impossible to discover its meanings and practices that identify and encourage. So this option is saying that creativity is completely destroyed now, whereas the option says that because of this industry, the methods to identify genuine creativity is destroyed. So whereas this option is saying that the creativity itself is destroyed, it has destroyed the creative process, which is wrong. The passage says that it has become impossible to police its meanings and the practices that supposedly identify and encourage creativity. Means because of this industry that has built up around researching creativity, the genuine methods to identify creativity is becoming impossible. It does not mean that this creativity itself has been destroyed. It means that the methods to identify real creativity is destroyed. So this is why this also is wrong. Option C, creativity has proliferated. Again, the word is coming. Proliferated means spread in a very extreme manner or in a very wild manner. So creativity has proliferated to the extent that it is no longer a stable process. Its mutating identity has stifled the creative process. It says that creativity has increased to the extent that it is no longer a stable. It is not creativity that has proliferated. It is the research on creativity that is proliferated. So that is the first mistake, and to the extent that it is no longer a stable process. It is what is no longer creativity is no longer a stable process. What the passage is saying, this research has eroded the stable identity of creativity. It is not that creativity is not a stable process. It has the a stable identity of creativity is reduced to some extent. So there is a mistake here also. And it's mutating identity. Mutating means changing identity. So changing identity has stifled the creative process. Its changing identity has not stifled the creative process. It is the same mistake that is there in option B. The changing identity, mutating identity means changing identity. It has made it difficult to identify the genuine creativity. So that should be the correct method or correct sentence. Its mutating identity has stifled the creative process means reduced the creativity. It is not what the passage is saying. Passage says that because of the changing identity, previously creativity was very stable. Now the identity of creativity is not that stable. So the changing identity has actually completely deleted or destroyed the creative process. This is what the option says, but the passage says that it has made it difficult for to identify genuine creativity. So that is why this also is wrong. Option D, the value assigned to creativity today is assumed such proportions that the concept itself has lost its real meaning, and this is hampering the engendering of real creativity. Hampering means blocking. Engendering means fostering or development. So here it means that the value that is assigned to creativity today, yes, economic value that we have discussed in the first line, has assumed such proportions, so it has become too much uncontrolled. So this is already given because undue obsession that is stated. So as assume such proportion that the concept itself has lost its real meaning. That is why it says that it is not able to, it has eroded creativity's stable identity, and it is not able to discover its meaning and the practice that identify real creativity. So that is why the concept itself has lost its real meaning, and this is hampering the engendering of real creativity, or it is blocking the development of real creativity. That is what the last line is saying. So this option is not having any inconsistencies. This is clearly conceptualizing what the passage is saying. So since all the other options have a lot of contradictions or inconsistencies, and this one is not having any, so this should be our answer. This is the best summary for the passage. All right. So this passage is comparatively simple. It is talking about two sets of scientists. One is a biologist, and the other set is physicists. And that is the concept that is given is the researchers or scientists directly publishing their research papers to the web before publishing it in some research journal. So normally scientists, you go through the route of publishing their findings or research papers in a peer reviewed journal. What is a peer reviewed journal? Peer means any person who is your contemporary, who is working in the same field, that is called a peer. So peer reviewed journal means a journal which is, or as or a magazine in which the articles are studied and analyzed by some of your fellow scientists. They are called peer reviewed journals. So normally the practice is that scientists publish their research papers in a peer reviewed journal, and only then they are published into the web. But nowadays this preprints, what is a digital preprint? Any scientist who publishes his work directly to the web without publishing it in a journal is called a digital preprint. So now digital preprints are gaining popularity, and because it is enabling faster dissemination of knowledge, and it is very quick. So this is why the physicists are able to do that. There is no problem. But when biologists do that, biologist community or their fellow biologists, they don't take it as a nice thing. So they brand this particular biologist who publish his research directly to the web as a rogue scientist. What is a rogue scientist? A person who is not conforming to the rules of the community is called a rogue scientist. So biologists who publish their research papers to the web, they are branded as rogue by the biologist community, whereas physicists are able to do that. So that is the discussion in the passage, and the idea of preference is gaining ground. But the biologists are facing this barrier because their research, their members of their conservative research community. So the biologist community is very conservative. They are very orthodox. They don't like fellow biologists publishing their research papers into the web. This is the meaning. Now you have to find a summary. Option A, one of the advantages of digital preprints of research is that they hasten the dissemination process, but these are not accepted by most scientific communities. So the first part is correct. One of the advantages of digital preprints of research is they hasten. Hasten means they quicken. That is why it is given. Advocates of preprints argue that quick and open dissemination, very fast. So when you publish it in the web, it is spread very fast. So this part is okay, but these are not accepted by most scientific communities. This part is not correct, because it says that there is the passage already says that it is the community of biologists that are not accepting it. The physicist community is already accepting it. So most scientific communities are not accepting, is not supported by the passage. So this could not be a good summary. Option B, compared to biologists, physicists are less conservative in their acceptance of digital pre-publication of research papers, which allows for faster dissemination of knowledge. It says that physicists are less conservative in their acceptance of digital publication of research papers, which allows for faster dissemination of knowledge. So compared to biologists, that is correct. Biologists are more conservative. That is why it is given in the last sentence. Physicists are less conservative. They accept digital pre-publication of research papers, which allows for faster dissemination. So this is a good answer. It is not having any inconsistencies. Keep it in your mind. Option C, while digital publication of research is gaining popularity in many scientific disciplines, almost all peer-reviewed journals are reluctant to accept papers that have been published before. It says that all the peer-reviewed journals are reluctant to accept papers. Is it supported by the passage? No. The passage says that only in the case of biologists, the peer-reviewed journals are not able to accept it, whereas in the case of physicists, they are able to accept it. So almost all peer-reviewed journals are reluctant to accept is not a correct statement as per the passage. So that is why this is not a good answer. Option D, this part is correct. While digital publication of research is gaining popularity here, even if the data idea preference is gaining ground, so that part is correct. So, but the second part is wrong. So this option is wrong. Option D, preprints of research are frowned upon by some scientific fields as they do not undergo a rigorous reviewing process, but are accepted among biologists as a quick way to disseminate information. So here it says that the preprints are not accepted. Frowned upon means not accepted. They are not viewed in a favorable light or not accepted. So some scientific fields are not accepted accepting pre-printed research. That is correct, as they do not undergo a rigorous reviewing process. That is also correct, but they are accepted among biologists. This is wrong, because it is not accepted among biologists also. Preprints of researches are not accepted among biologists as a quick way to disseminate information. This part is also wrong. So the only correct answer is option B, because it is giving the idea that is there in the passage in the correct manner without any distortions or contradictions or additions. So this is how you should be following the process. I hope you have found the video useful. I have tried to make the video less lengthy, because when it is more lengthy, people get to maybe since it is the beginning of your preparation, you might be finding it difficult to focus for a long time, but after some time we will make in each video we will be handling more questions. So if you have found the video useful and informative for your preparation, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.